Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Salesforce real-time scenario series. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about to the REST API. So we have to develop by the one functionality on the REST API. Let's see how we are going to develop. So here is the use case is the when we are going to enter by the our pin code. So based on the pin code, it is fetching by the postal details from the postal department. Okay. So that is the one of the website. So based on that website, we are going to get it by our information. So here we are using by the REST API. Through REST API, how we are going to fetch the data from the third party system means we are usually we are using to the our Salesforce, right? But we are going to fetch it by the third party system, nothing but the another server, Salesforce server to the another server. So use case is the here when we are going to enter by the pin code. Based on the that pin code, we can able to get it by the postal details like relevant information, city, state, areas, that kind of the information. So here we can develop by the with the lightning web component how we are going to implement it by this use case. Let's see the step by step in this tutorial. Okay, so come to the here how we are going to develop. Before going to the develop, I will show you the first third party system. So let's come to the our Salesforce website. So Indian postal pin codes. Okay. So this is the one of the website. Here too we are going to get it by the our postal information or local area information. So here we are going to search it by the pin code. So click on to the here search pin code. This is the separate website. Okay, so here I am going to enter by the 5 lakhs. So something 72. So click on to the submit. Based on this, it is written by the details, Kukatpalli or so Vivekananda Colony. So if you want to more information, click on to the here details. Now it will written by the more details like state, city, area, some kind of the information. It would be the provided. See here post office type. So district, state, this kind of the information provided by the here. More details. So based on the postal pin code, we are getting by the information, same kind of the information we are going to develop into our LWC. Through LWC2, we are going to call it by the our HTTP callout. Then we are getting by the information, postal information. So each and every integration we have the required by the documentation, API documentation, that is the mandatory. Why? Because means how to give it by the endpoint URL, how to post the data or get the data, and how it is written by the response. So that kind of the information we have the required. So here each and every integration we have the API document is the required. So let's come to the here. Each and everything we have the API documentation any application. So click on to the API doc here. So here they are going to provided by the information. If you want to get by the data used by the this is the endpoint URL. So pin code is the dynamically we are going to pass it now. Which pin code we are going to give, that pin code data will be the written. This is the endpoint URL. Okay. So any other information post office like this, we have to get it by the another endpoint. This is the post office base. It is the pin code base. So this is the URL pin code. So like this, they are giving the example. When we are going to enter by the pin code, click on to the submit. Response will be the come by the like this by the here background response coming by the like this. This is the JSON format. Okay. So JSON format it will be written. Always REST API return the JSON format. So like this message, status, post office. So we can deserialize it by this data and we have to display it by like this proper format. We have to display the proper format. We can't able to display it directly like this to the end user now. So we have to display by the format, proper format, and user can able to understand by the data. So how to deserialize and how to display the in the proper format. Let's see the in this video step by step. Okay. So let's come to the here. We are going to create by the one Apex class. First, Control Shift P, create Apex class. So here, Indian Postal Details. This is the my class name. So here I am going to create by the one method, public static void get postal details. So here we need to pass it by the postal ID, right? So same like here we are going to pass it now by the pin code. So like this, we are going to pass it by our postal code. This is the, we need to pass it to our Apex class. So that's why here we have to take it by the string. Yes, pin code. Okay, postal code or pin code, your wish. So how to develop by the here HTTP thing? We have to the how to develop by the our HTTP thing. So last we have to create by the first HTTP callout. So how we are going to call out by the our HTTP? Let's see the step by step. So always we need to send it by the our data from the website, right? So this is the one of the website now www dot like this. So this is the HTTP. So that's why here we have to create by the HTTP h equals to new HTTP. So next is the we need to send it by the our data, right? We need to send it to the request to the data. So how we are going to request to our data? How to send by the request? So that's why here we have to prepare by the HTTP request equals to new HTTP request. So in the request already we know, right, we have the set endpoint, set method, these are all we need to give it. So that's why here first we have to create by the our endpoint string endpoint equals to, so here they are provided in the API document. This is the endpoint up to here. Rest of thing we need to give it by the dynamically. So this is the endpoint. Okay, this is the we are going to provide by the our endpoint. So now here request dot set endpoint. This is the standard method. So here we are taken an endpoint, same we are given by the here. Next we need to get it or post to the data. Okay, so now here we are going to use it for the which method they are giving by the get method. Okay, now we are going to get it the data from the database, right? That's why here we have to use it by the get method. So here request dot set method. So here get. Okay, so now here we have the preparing by the our endpoint. We have prepared by the our request. In the request we are going to use it by the our endpoint. Then here which method we have to use it, get method. Now this request we need to send it now, that sending purpose we are using for the HTTP. Through HTTP websites only we are sending the our request right here. So when we are sending the request, it is returned to the response, right? It is returned to the some response. So when you are enter by the postal dot code in, enter by the here now, postal pin code dot in, then click on the enter, it is written some data. This is the response. So how get it by the response from the server? So here we have to hold purpose, response holding purpose, HTTP response res equals to new HTTP response. So response equals to, here we have to take it by the h dot. Through this website we are sending by the our data. Okay. Through this h we are sending by the our request. So h dot send off our request. What we are prepared the request endpoint URL and set method we are preparing this one. So when we are sending the request, it is sending by the response. Let's see the response, how it is coming by the response. So let's take it by the system.debug. So response body. Response dot get body. This is the standard method. In the HTTP callout standard methods. Okay, status code, get status and status codes. These are also we need to get it. Status, if it is success, it is written by the 200. If it is the fail, it is given by the 400 or 401. That kind of the messages, that kind of the message. Web codes, that is all are we are calling the web codes. Okay, let's save. As of now, let's deploy up to here. So once it is deployed, we can test it this method. So it is deployed successfully. Let's come to the our Salesforce org. Come to the click on to the gear symbol. Click on to the developer console. So open anonymous window. So what is our class name? Indian postal details dot get postal details. Now here we have to pass it by the postal code. So I think here we need to give it by the endpoint URL. Then here we need to give it by this pin code, right? Plus, so here we have to mention by the our pin code. Yes, pin code. So this is the endpoint URL. This is the base URL. Then what we are enter by the that one is the dynamically we are going to give it now. Here we can give it by the our pin code. So let's give it by the here. So like this something 62 I'm giving. So click on execute. So when we are using to the endpoint URLs na REST APIs must and should give it by the remote site settings. Then only we can able to send the our request. We can able to send the our request. So it is throwing an error na remote site settings. We have to give it by the this one. This is the endpoint URL. We need to give it by the remote site settings. Copy to this. Let's come to the Salesforce org. Search with the remote site settings. So click on new remote site setting. So here we can give it by the postal code. Naming anything you can give it. So this is our endpoint URL now. What we are going to give it by the here, our base URL, you can give it. Okay. Once it is saved, how much they require, that much is automatically taken by the remote site setting. Slash postal also we are given, but it's not a required. Main URL is the file. How much is required, that is automatically picked by the system. Okay. Now back to the here, re-execute. So it is successfully execute, I think so. Let me see, it is the success. So let's see by the debug logs. So it is successfully. Okay means it is success. Code is the 200. Okay. So response body here we have to get it by the 401, the request to resource not found something. Let me check it. Get body. So let's come to the our Salesforce org. So sorry, class postal code. We are going to give an endpoint response dot get body. So I think what we are given here, let me check it again. 5,62, right? Let me check it by the here. So couple of is coming. Let me take it by the instead of this something 52. 52 also more. So let me take it by the something 89. So only one is coming, Manikonda. Okay, let me try this one. That written by the list of the records also, but let me check it. Let me check it here. We are given by our endpoint URL, postal code, pin code. Okay. And let me check it by the document as well. So API / pin code. This is we are given by the correctly only API, right? API postal dot in postal code. Same we are given. Let me check it we have to the extract to the data means deserialize to the data, then we can check it how it is coming to the here. So it is written by the response body. They are going to mention this is the main and these are the one of the record, this is the another record, this is the another record. So multiple records that's why here we have to take it by the one list type. Okay, list type we can take it, then we can deserialize to the our method. So let's take it by the here. So list object notation I'm taking object type. So here response data equals to list of object so JSON dot deserialized response dot body. This is the standard syntax JSON format to some object data format. We are going to get it. Okay. So now here in this is written by the list of the data, like means status, message, postal code. Now these are all the information. It is the returning or list of the data. This is the whole is the some kind of the list of the data, right? So let's take it by the index value based to we can get it by the first data. So we have to take in by the map string comma object. Why I'm going to take it by the map means message, this is the key, this is the value, this is the key, this is the value, this is the key, this is the value. Okay, now here we are getting by the single record. Might be some of the postal codes we have seen, right? Multiple objects, multiple areas written now. Here actually what we are enter now, this is written by the only one, but some of the things we have to get it by the couple of, right? So here 4 records. So that's why here we have to taken by the list initially. In that list too, we have to fetch it by the one by one record. But as of now, we are thinking to the one record only. So here, so response values equals to, we are converting to the map. So here response data, here we are going to store it by our data, response data array of 0. First value only we are fetching. So that value we are going to map it by the string comma object. So for example, only one data if it is coming. So this is the only one data information. So message is the key, this is the value. Status is the key, success is the value. This is the post office is the key, this information all is the value. So that purpose we have to take in by the string and object type. Now here we have to get it by the only for the postal code, only for the postal information. Here we have to need to the only for the postal information. So let's see how we are going to get it by the postal information list. So here we have to take it by the list of object. So here object. So here postal details equals to new list of object. Okay, so now here we have to get it by the this information. This whole information we have now, these are the list of the record post office based to we are getting by the all the details. So now here we have to take it by the, so here response values now, from the response values. So here response values dot get off. So here we have to take it by the post office. Okay. So here instead of the new, directly we can take it by the like this. So here list of the values to we have to pass it. Okay, up to save this. So we have to get it by the mainly for the this post office information. Okay. So this post office information mainly we need to get it. So let's come to the here. Now here we need to get it by the each information. Let's see how we are going to get it by the each information. So let's come to the here. We have to take it by the again in this post office. In this post office again, these are all the data. So this is the main, this is the parent, this is the child. In this child also we have the key and value, name, description, branch, these are all the keys. Sub post office, non-delivery, New Delhi, like this, these are all the values. So that's why here we have to take it by the another map. String comma object. So postal data equals to, so map of string comma object. So here we have to get it by the postal details, right? So let's take it by the postal details. In this list 2, we have to take it by the array of 0. So it is written by the all the information again. So this is the list type. See here, post office, this is the bracket is given. This is nothing but the list type. So only we have the one list only, right? So that's why array of 0 we are given. Again, this is the reading by the data. Again, this is reading by the data. Now, here, let's see how we are going to, I think it's showing some error. Map of string comma object, same we are given. I think extra bracket is the added. So let me save. So now here we have to get it by the one by one now. In this map and map key and value pair, right? Key and value pair here now. So now here key is the name, description, circle. These are all the information, state, country. So this is the information. So here also state, district, division, like this information we have now. So post office, like this information. So now here we have to get it by the based on the response. We can display by the information. One by one we can read it. So let's come to the here string. So post office name equals to in the postal dot get of name. So here you have to observe now in this name we have the here Baroda house. Here also we have the name is the Kukkadpalli, right? This is the post office. That's why here I am taken by the variable name is the post office name. Actually, it is written by the string type, but this is the object type. Now here we have to using by the object, right? We have to convert by the string. So string of like this. This is the object notation to string format. This is also by the object notation to map and map type. This is the list type. Like this, we have to the converting all those details. Now here we have the post office name, string. So state equals to string dot postal data dot get state. So next is the city equals to string of postal data dot get of city. So some any other information if we have to require, we can keep it as of now. Name, state, city, I'm keep it to the here. Rest of the fields also, if you want, you can district, state to division like this. We have the different information. So state and city, district only here they are sending. I think city is the they are not returning. So instead of the city, we have to take it by the district. Okay. District. Okay, save. State, name, city, district, we are fetching this information. Let's take it by the system.debug. So here, post office name. So state, district. Let's see now. Okay, save and deploy. Let's re-execute. So debug logs. See here, now might be not showing the proper message, but now value is showing na Manikonda, Telangana, Hyderabad district. State is the Telangana, district is the Hyderabad, Manikonda, post office name. So this is the values. Here now properly showing might be earlier that postal code not showing the properly for the response body. Now in this see here name Manikonda, branch type deliveries to here we have to the na. So delivery status, circle, district, division, so region like this we have na. So like this, which information you want to get it, that API, that key you can give it. Name is if you want, you can take it by the name. Sub post office you want, take it by the sub post branch type like this na we have information. Okay. So this is the way to we can fetch it by the data from the third party system or another server. So let me again explain. I am removing by the, all the debug logs. So first of all, we have to create by one endpoint URL that is provided by the client or end user. Based on that, we can prepare by this endpoint URL. Same endpoint URL we can must and should give it by the in the remote site settings. Also go to the remote site settings. In this remote site settings, you can must and should give it by the endpoint URL. Then we have to prepare by our request. In this request, we are passing to the our endpoint. What we are going to give it by the pin code, that is dynamically we are passing to the here. That endpoint is the sending to the third party system. So we are getting by the information. That's why here we are using by the get method. So when we are going to send the our request, it is get back to the some response. That purpose we are using by the HTTP response. So h dot send. Here we are using by the h dot send. We can send it by the our request. So when we are sending the request, it is sending by the data with the JSON format. It is written by the response always to the like this JSON format. So we have to read this JSON format purpose. We are using to the deserialized untype. It is reading to the unserialized to the our data. Okay. Then after it is given to the like this information written by the here list of the objects information. So from this we have to get it by the first block information. So this is the one of the information. This is the array of the 0. It will be written by the whole information. Message, status, post office is the 3 values will be stored by the first map. Post office, status, message. From this, we need to get it by the only for the post office information. We no need for the message and status. We no need to require. message and status, just post office. But this post office the again to the list type. So this is the method na. Already we know, right? When we are using to the like this, it is always list array, right? So list type. So this list type purpose we are holding to the take it by the another list of the object, list of the objects. Okay. JSON type object. So it is returned to the object. So post office data only we are getting. It is returned to the only for the. So this information only list of the information is the returning. But again in this we have the name, post office name, description, branch type. These are all information. This is the key. This is the values, right? Circle is the key. New Delhi is the value. So that purpose we have taken by the again one more map. One more map. So in this map, it is stored by the name, value, city name and value, state and value like this. But in this two, we have to get it by the all the information, one by one information like name, state, district. So one by one, we are exacting to the here, exact the data, extracting to the our data from the map. So finally, once we have the received this whole data, we need to send it to the our UI, right? Means from the LWC component. So these all information we need to purpose. I am taking by the one wrapper class, public class. So WRP, postal details. So here we have to take it by the at the rate Aura enabled. Must and should used by the Aura enabled. Then only we can able to display the our information into the in the LWC component. Otherwise, it will not displayed. Each and every in front of the variable you can must and should use it for the Aura enabled. So public string post office name. So next is the Aura enabled. So public string state. So next is the here same syntax for the district. Okay, so these are all the variables. These variables we are going to send it to the our LWC command, just like object notation, just like as a object notation. So one by one value we can't return, right? That's why WRP class here our class name. Then here we have to declare by the our variables with our enabled public string state, public string district, post office name. Now instead of these strings we are storing initially, instead of this, now here we have to call it by the our WRP postal details. So here WRP equals to new WRP. WRP nothing but the wrapper class, just understanding purpose we are taken. It's not a required taking by the method name is the WRP, but easy understanding purpose. Now instead of the this string WRP dot post office name. So instead of this WRP dot state WRP dot district. Okay, these are all the variables we are going to store it. Now finally we have to return to the WRP. So WRP return type is the this is the class name. Instead of the void we are giving to the this one. Let's save. So why we are taking by the wrapper class means here we have to hold the data what is written to the from the third party system na, what we have written, that data we are going to store it na, that purpose we have to take it by the three variables. So post office name, state, district, these variables we are going to store it by the here in this wrapper class. So let's see how we are going to call it this method from the our LWC component. So when you are going to call it now, must and should give it by the @ our enabled in front of the method. So let's save. So here we have to take it by the one wrapper class, Control Shift P, create Lightning Web component. So here Indian Postal Details. This is our wrapper class name. So now in this wrapper class name, we have to call it by the our method. So this is the our method name now. So how we are going to import our class? Import our method name from @ Salesforce / Apex / so Indian Postal Details dot get method. This is the our method. So now here we are imported by our class initially. Then here come to the HTML lightning code title postal details. So user needs to enter by the postal data, right? Same like here. They need to enter by the postal details, 6 character they are going to mention now. So same type label we are going to give it. They can give it by the input, then click on to the submit, then click on to the submit button. So this purpose, we have to take it by the lightning input label equals to enter 6 characters pin. So when it is changing, we need to hold it by the that pin code, right? So here handle change. So save. Next is the button, submit button. Lightning button, variant brand, on click, handle, submit, label equals to submit. So save. So once we are entering the data, we need to hold it now, handle change. Let's copy to this method. We can hold, take it by the one method here, event. So we need to hold it by the postal code now. So here postal code, this is the variable. So this dot postal code equals to event dot target dot value. What we are enter the value automatically comments it by the in the postal code. This is already we are aware, right? When it is the input is changing, automatically called to the JavaScript method. That value hold come to the here. Now here handle submit. When we click on to the button, we need to retrieve that information. Apex class method, we need to invoke and get it by the information. Imperatively calling by the our Apex class. So here our method name is the get postal details. So it is the parameterized method now. Earlier we are running by in the developer console, but now here we have to use it for the this is the our parameterized variable name. So here this is the our postal code now. What we are enter this dot postal code. So then it is returned to the result. Result. So catch if getting any error, we need to hold it by the error. So it is written by the wrapper class information, that is nothing but the object type information. So we can take it by the another variable. So postal details. This is the another variable name. In this, we are going to hold it by the our data. This dot equals to result. Just like as a object, this is okay. Postal details. Up to save this one. Now we are going to print by this information. We are hold by the data post office, state, district. This information we need to display by the in the UI. So let's break. So here we have to take it by the So division, first division we have to display it by the post office name. So where we are store our data? Here, right, postal details. Postal details dot, in which variable we are store our data? Post office name. Post office name. So we have to take it by the another division. So next is the, we have to the state. So here postal details dot state. I think we are taken by the capital letter. We can keep it by all are the same thing or small letter. All are this better to take it by the small letter. Save and deploy. This one also here we have to take it by the small letter. Case sensitive, right? That's fine. Let's take it by the another division. District. So here postal details dot, so district. Save. This information will be the populated. Okay. Let's save. So initially we don't want to display now this one. Let's take it by the template. If true, postal details. So when we are getting the data, then only it will be the populated. Okay, let's save. So finally, we need to send it by this data. So here we are going to use it for the true. Take it by the targets. So target, lightning, app page. At the same, I'm giving to the record page also. Lightning, record page. So save. Let's deploy by this bundle. It is deployed successfully. Let's come to the Salesforce org. Create by the one app builder. Click on new. So app page, click on next. So Indian postal code details. Click on next. Click on one region. Click on done. So here we can add it by the our postal code component. We are adding by our postal code component. Let's save. Click on activate. So I'm giving to the LWC development. Click on save. Back to the page. Indian postal code details. Now come to the here, we have to give it by the 5 lakhs 89. So when we click on to the data, we need to display. Let me check it. It is invoking or not. So on change postal code. Yeah, I think it is the typo mistake here, postal code. Let's save and deploy. So let me refresh by the page. So again, one more time, we can refresh by the page before enter by the postal code. So now here we are getting by the data, right? Manikonda, Telangana, district. I think district also might be typo mistake. So that's why it is not returning the data. So now here we have to display it by the here district. I think we are given by the capital letter. So that's why it's not appear by the information. District is the we are given by the small letter. Earlier we are given by the capital letter now. So that's why it's not populated. So refresh by the page. So now here we can refresh by the page. Now click on submit. See here, Hyderabad, Telangana, Manikonda. So like this, we can able to fetch the data from the third party system and we can able to display the data. So in LWC side, what we have did, initially user needs to enter by the one input field. Now that's why here we are taken by the one input field. When they are entered by the data, automatically called by our handle change method, what we are entered by the postal code here storing by the in this postal code. After click on to the submit button, it is invoked by the our Apex class method imperatively. In the our Apex class, it is passing to the our postal detail. What we are entering, that is postal code, enter to the here. Then it is invoked by the our REST API. It is running by the our REST API. Here already we developed, right? Request and response, how to send it by the request and how to hold by the response. Based on the response, we are extracting to the data which data we want, that is the data. That data we need to display by the in the UI now. That purpose we have to taken by the one wrapper class. In this wrapper class we are going to store it by the post office name, state and district. If any other fields you want required, you can take it by the similar way. Then finally written by the our wrapper class. So what is the written by now, that information or result return to the here our method, imperative calling method. That result we are storing into the in the one property, postal detail property. In this property we have to display by the information, post office name, state, districts. If you want to display by this information, you can must and should give it by the here at the rate or enabled for the each and every variable, each and every data type or variable. Then only you can able to access the here displayed by the data. Okay. So same like this is the quickly checking by the any user for the any record level. So that's why here we have to take it by the, for example, account. So any one of the account you quickly take it. Here we are given by the targets is the two places now, app page and record page also we can able to access. So end user directly they can check it by the here. So let's click on to the gear symbol, click on to the edit page. So postal, Indian postal details now. Drag and drop to the here. I think it's not added properly. Let me add it again. Yeah. So here, okay, let's save, activate. So default arg is the, we are going to give it by the LWC development. Save. Back to the page. So now they can able to quickly find it by the postal code. Based on this, here they can check it by the 5,89,000. So information will be the populated. If you want to the 90. So different information, Bajpalli, Telangana, this one. If you want to something else, so like this, we have to the 45. So Telangana state AGF staff quarters. So based on the our pin code automatically displayed by the proper information. Quickly they can identify the state to district information, post office name quickly. If might be if you any spelling mistakes now, that's why they can get it by the proper information when they are creating by the account information, they can properly enter by the here state to city informations. Okay, this is the copy to paste it by the here their information. That is the different scenarios. Okay, so this is the overall of the REST API, how to build our REST API, how to invoke to the third party system data. So how to post it by the our data and how to get it by the data. So any servers or any third party system must and should have the API document. Based on that only we can develop, they can give it to the endpoint URL, get method or post method, we need to use it, and how to get it by the sample data also they are providing to us. Based on that we can develop by the our Apex class. Based on that, after how to utilize to the in our Salesforce side, we can utilize to that functionality. Okay, we are using for the from the HTML LWC component, we are sending by our postal code. After getting the response, that data we are displaying into the UI. Okay, this is the functionality. So let's come to the here Indian postal codes. So here we are going to give it by the 45. So here displayed by the data. Okay. So I hope it's clear how it was implemented by the REST API with the third party system, how we are going to prepare by the request and response, and how to get the response body, and how to display by the data to the end users. Okay, thank you. Stay tuned for the more real-time scenarios.